with the thing. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Game Grumps fanfic readings.
Recently closed. 2 tabs.
What?
It's okay.
I've posted it to Mel.
Me? Why did you post it to me?
Because I can.
Oh, for fuck's sake, now I've got to get on Discord.
I've got it, it's fine.
You do? No dicks allowed. What?
No dicks allowed?
What? No, I'm just pissed.
That's a weird tag for a fanfic.
I found one with Markiplier.
Sexy, let's watch it.
What's Dan / you? Dan /
Is it a self-insert where you take the place of Dan?
It's X-Reader. Yes,
Vampires.
It's X-Reader.
Angst, fluff, hurt, comfort, marijuana, weed, cigarettes, drinking, alcohol, recreation.
Yeah, it took me longer than it should have to figure out that Y/N means your name. But then again, I don't read fan fictions often.
Neither do I. This stuff is very new to me.
Alright, how about, since you're indecisive, I'll read one.
Okay, this...
Game Grump.
What? By the way, we still have tea that we haven't made tea.
Yeah, you should make tea, please. Thank
By
you.
the way, you should have called it book club. We're a book club now.
Well, we're a book club now. For reading porn.
Yeah.
Alright, this one is called... Oh, no. I agree / consent to its terms.
And conditions.
I suppose. No, I agree to the terms, not the fucking conditions. They can't control the shit I have to click that I've read it. Alright. Big Zam. We're reading the fanfiction Big Zam by Dovingbird.
Make sure to skip straight to the sex scene because otherwise it's boring.
You mean skip straight to the sex scene?
Am I the only one who just skipped straight to the sex scene?
Okay, I can't read the thing because it's not... Aaron isn't sure if Danny's big or Zammy enough and decides to take matters into his own hands. Only one chapter, allegedly.
Does the chapter have
Oh, I have to proceed. Right. Cool. Big Zam. Summary. Aaron isn't sure if Danny's big or Zammy enough and decides to take matters into his own hands. I'm gonna read, I don't know which voice is which, so I'm just gonna go, this game sucks! It really does. Like, seriously, it's so bad that I can't even think of funny shit to say about it. This is just... Sad thing is, Aaron's right. Normally they can pull stuff out of their ass to save a fucking terrible game, like with Dennis the Menace or Ninja Bread Man, and hell, that shit more often than not becomes, like, fucking iconic, don't it? But this, it's just too terrible. Danny collapses onto the couch with a long, loud groan and drops the controller, rubbing his face.
Yeah.
You want to just stop? Aaron asks, pausing the game. Really? Call the whole thing a wash? He shrugs. It's been 8 minutes and literally nothing has happened. It's not like we've lost a whole lot of time, right? See, what's funny is that he never used to suggest shit like this. He was always the one that would drill Danny about them having to get content no matter if they have to play a game for like 30 fucking minutes to do it. Looking at you, endless ocean. But lately something's changed.
We'll be back, I guess.
He wonders if it has to do with them sucking each other off recently. Yeah, that made you stop in your tracks, didn't it, you cunt? Look, if there's anything that his roommates taught him in New York, when there were 11 billion of them stuffed in a single apartment, it's that gay shit happens sometimes. It just does. You're all cramped up in this tiny space and there's 6 people to a bedroom and 8 more just chilling in the living room on cots, and there's a joint getting passed around, there's boners that you forget to hide and somebody accidentally touches it and your moan's a little less than an accident and there's jizz just suddenly everywhere all over the fucking floor and ceiling and whatever else, and you pretend it isn't going to happen again, and the joint comes out the next day and an hour later you're getting fucked in the ass. Hey, whatever. Didn't take a joint or booze to make that happen with Aaron. Just took a mad, crazy sugar high one night that led to sissy slapping, that led to full-out wrestling, that led to almost frantic grinding, that led to jizz. The only difference being that while Danny and the other guys never talked about that shit that went down in New York, Aaron immediately informed him of just how hot it had been, and how good it felt, and how they probably needed to do it again whenever they felt so inclined. And really, who's Danny to turn down free and friendly handjobs and blowjobs and whatever else between friends when he's feeling frisky? So when Aaron's so fast to suggest they scrape the footage, Danny stares at him for a few seconds before slowly starting to grin. You have something else in mind? I mean, Aaron shrugs, trying to look unconcerned, but his eyelids are drooping and there's a hint of a smirk on his lips, and he's literally never looked so transparent in all the time that Danny's known him. I'm sure we can come up with something.
Andrew, can you open that? Sorry for the interruption, people.
Like another game to play? Danny puts the stack on the coffee table in front of them. Maybe. Or we could always revisit old favourites just to get warmed up again. Aaron shrugs, flicks his eyes up and down Danny's body, and that's good, because he should. Because after all that moving furniture and stuff to get everything situated in his apartment with Barry, Danny thinks he might actually have one or two muscles now instead of being flat as a pancake. I mean, like say, he surreptitiously slides his hand down his stomach, for instance, right under the waistbands of his shortened boxers, Big Zam, and pulls his dick out immediately. The reaction's immediate. Aaron actually bending in half to laugh hysterically just like Dan wanted him to, and it's addicting just like it always is. Makes Danny start laughing too, even though he coyly pumps his hand over his shaft to tease it up from the chub that was just grumping with Aaron will get it too these days.
Mess.
What the fuck, Aaron cries, cheeks already flushed as he looks through his hair at Danny. His face is just about to split across the middle with how wide he's smiling, and Danny loves it. Loves every time that he can make Aaron so fucking happy.
How's this smell?
I don't know, I'm saying.
Minty.
I don't know, I'm just saying, you know, if we're going to revisit old favourites and stuff, we might as well go with Big Zam.
Mouthwash.
Aaron barks out another
Probably not a good
high-pitched
idea.
laugh or two before he rubs his eyes, wiping away the beginning of actual tears, and just barely catches his breath in time to signal a mood change. Danny feels it immediately, senses the blow of the freeze from airy and light to a little more humid and intense, as Aaron smirks at him and leans over. I don't know though, Aaron teases, just barely avoiding a giggle. I don't know if it's big. Danny chokes it back a gasp when Aaron grabs his cock and makes his hand fall away. Or zammy enough.
What the fuck did I miss while I was in the toilet?
Right, what you missed is Danny fucks guys a lot.
Really?
Apparently. According to this fanfic, which, I'll be honest, probably isn't the most accurate representation of their day-to-day living.
I'm gonna do that because I'm a dick. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
And it's weird that already Aaron knows what he likes.
I have never played this character ever.
Can instinctively take his favourite pace. Remembers to squeeze almost hard enough to bruise at the top and swell his palm around the head and whatever else. And all Danny can do is dig his fingers into the couch cushions and breathe out a soft shit.
Fucking imagine someone reaping down on your cock.
See, Aaron murmurs, cocking his head to the side, that smirk turning a touch wicked. See how much better that is? Fuck yeah. They don't kiss, of course. That may be a little too emotional and gay, instead of this easy fun exchange of sexual favours. But there are moments like right now, where Danny will stare into Aaron's face, will read precisely how much he likes doing this shit to Danny, how much he actually might love the shit out of him, and it's enough to send spikes of electricity shooting through him with every movement of Aaron's hand. Enough to make him almost want to know what those self-satisfied smirking lips taste like. And then Aaron will do something like slide his other hand forward to tug his waistband down a bit more and play with his balls. And Danny forgets that urge all over again, throws his head back and revels in the sweet burn. Drowns for minutes. He doesn't even realise a passing, punctuated only by a groan or a curse when his body kicks into the next gear. Come on then, Aaron whispered and breaks the line of endless time. Right when Danny started to buck his hips, when his face is all flushed and a few beads of sweat are dripping down his temples, you gotta show me your big Zam beam.
What?
And it's so ridiculous and obnoxious when Danny laughs, tinged with breathy moans and a desperate drive to cling to the stirring right there, right in his balls, where everything's tingling and escalating. Oh my god, really? What do you want?
Thank you.
I will be reading more in about a second. Anyway. You gonna do that for me? My creamy beam? Dan teases through grinning teeth. Yeah, that's what I want, come on. And he lifts the pace all the more with his own quiet chuckle. Give me what I want, Dan. And really, who is Danny to deny him? He comes, of course, and if he happens to shoot that jizz all the fuck over Aaron's face while shouting, "Taste my creamy beam!" then he really can't be asked to feel bad about it, at all, because the son of a bitch literally asked for it. Seriously? Dude, you fucking asked for it. Oh my god, there is so fucking much! And it's Danny's turn to laugh hysterically as he grabs the nearby box of tissues and pulls out about 7, throwing them all in Aaron's face. Here, son of a bitch! It's seriously some of the funniest shit that Danny's ever seen, and all that laughing just makes the tingles of his orgasm draw out all the more. Makes them taste all the sweeter. He drops limply to the floor for a moment before sighing and crawling to Aaron's spread legs. Okay man, look, I'm sorry, what if I make it up to you? He asks teasingly as he goes for Aaron's zipper. So of course Aaron immediately stops his hooting and hollering and settles back into the couch with a huff and a soft chuckle. You'd fucking better. It's still going. Still going.
Nicely done.
It's still going.
I've done dildos. Wait, that sounds weird.
I don't want to know.
Thank you.
Haha. Oh no, that is the end. Okay, never mind.
Hello, Pete. Actually, okay, we got both of us on screen, so like, okay.
Yeah, it's 2 of us watching right now.
Can someone get my... yeah, can someone get my lifeless husk?
Oh, this one's really long.
Oh, fuck. Can we do a short one?
Yeah, short ones. Is there any way to... Oh, 95.
Oh, the short ones always have the biggest payoffs.
That's why girls love me.
No, they don't.
No.
You
are both 0 show and 0 finesse.
My cock is very small. I'm quite happy to admit that.
Wouldn't you have a clitoris?
Exactly.
My cock is pleasantly average.
My cock. That's what if I ever own a horse, I'm gonna name it Mike Ock. So when people are watching...
Are you going to get a bird and call it Micro?
Micro's penis?
Do you know Micro has a micro crow named Mike?
Microsoft?
Many ways.
Oh, that's a crow there. Look at it. It's so adorable.
Yeah, he's soft.
Sort and
I'm
filter.
not.
Because you listen to
Danny,
Aaron jacking off Dad.
Word count from 0. No, from 200 to 600 words.
That sounds like a lot of words.
So that's really going to
It's
cut
actually
it down.
not that much.
You're saying this like you've written fan fiction or something.
I've written stories, not necessarily. Well, I have written fan fiction actually.
Of who?
I've written essays.
I was a teenager, and at the time I was really into My Chemical Romance, so I wrote for art. And they had babies.
You know what's really traumatizing?
Yeah, it was back in the days when MPreg was just starting to get really
What was?
MPreg.
What's that?
Male pregnancy was starting to become a thing.
That's not a thing, Mel. That's not a thing. Can we make that not a thing?
Don't you remember the last smut we read? Not that one. The
No.
last.
Okay, the Clifford one.
No. The last Game Grumps episode.
The one.
The last time you guys live streamed with smut.
The one with Andrew doing the work.
Yes.
Usually it's the
Aaron making pancakes.
Spicy milk. 44. Spicy milk.
Do you like your milk spicy?
I like it salty.
Round 1.
I don't want.
Clifford.
What the hell? Car accident,
red
injury, grief? What the fuck?
What?
What?
Fan fiction.
Graphic depictions of violence, major character death, car accident, injury, grief / mourning.
Like, this shit's fucked, but there's gonna be this one cunt going, "Don't king shame me."
No, because no one's going to be watching our stuff.
What are you talking about? There's 2 people watching this. You and me.
Yeah. And neither of us are.
Include
Get Cookie to
categories.
watch it.
She's been asleep for fucking ages.
Get her to watch it when she wakes up.
No.
Something pleasant to watch in the morning at breakfast time.
Include smut.
With a good thing her father's deaf. Oh, what the fuck?
Alright.
So basically you could say anything about him and he wouldn't mind.
Yeah, she would.
Aaron gets...
Okay, your father is probably a nice man. I've never met him, so I can't make that judgment.
Okay, I found a story. We have a story. It's called You Are My Fantasy, but I Panicked. Really? That's quite a name. Aaron gets caught spacing out during Grumps.
He does that.
You like that? Dan continues to slam into Aaron, stretching out the pale pink shirt he's wearing. Yes, please God, more! His voice comes out muffled as his face gets pushed farther into the couch cushions. Dan pounds into him hard enough that Aaron is screaming.
Fuck, undo?
I haven't skipped to the sex scene. This is how it starts.
Fucking, I know I can climb this wall.
He slaps his perky ass, causing it to wiggle. We have to be quiet. Aaron lets out a string of sobs. Please, Danny. It feels so good. If you hush up, I might let you come.
Aaron, you want to take your shirt off? But we're in the office.
Aaron pushes his ass back against Dan. Yes, please, I'll be good, I promise. Dan rubs soothing circles into the skin.
By the way,
Then
I've got a
start
horrified
acting like
face. I am in scare.
Aaron nods quickly. Yes, sir.
You're doing me a big frighten.
Dan continues to thrust into the tight heat. His movement's getting faster and faster with each go. Danny, I can't hold on. That's it, baby. Come for me, Aaron. He comes with a cry and Dan's voice gets louder. Aaron!
And then Aaron shrinks back to normal size.
This is a very serious stream right now. Aaron's panting into the couch cushions, coming down from his high. Aaron! His voice gets louder until it's almost booming. Aaron!
It'd be really weird if I put the 10-minute power hour on after this, wouldn't it?
Aaron blinks and almost drops the controller he's holding. He looks over to the man sitting next to him, fully clothed, looking expectantly.
Tucker, have you started recording?
Are we rolling?
Aaron blinks again. But what? Dan laughs. Dude!
Tucker, you gotta say action or some shit, man.
Aaron looks back at the screen and sees Phoenix Wright and his iconic finger pointing at something. Alright.
That finger's gonna
Edward
be point.
Satanus.
Alright, they're doing Grumps. He can barely focus on anything with Dan's bubbly laughter in his ear, the noise fogging up all his clear thoughts. He wonders how it would sound morphing into a moan.
What the fuck?
I don't remember this episode of Phoenix, right?
He reminds himself to save
I haven't
that...
watched any of it.
I remember the crystal meth episode.
Wait, what? He reminds himself to save that thought for J.O. material.
With his J.O. crystal.
I called your name like 3 times. What were you so lost in thought about? No,
Your
nothing,
bum
he
cheeks.
mentally
Oh.
curses himself for replying so fast. Okay, he replies. Who is he? You've got to start telling people who he is.
Don't play the pronoun game with me, fanfiction.
He replies slowly as if he doesn't believe him. Which could you blame him? They finish up the rest of the episode, luckily without any hiccups. Dan
Except for the bum sex.
breaks. Yeah, it was a daydream.
It was bum sex.
Dan breaks the ice as Aaron is scribbling down the timestamp. So, what were you thinking about you couldn't say on the episode?
Bum sex.
Aaron decides to play it off as a joke. I was thinking about having your thick cock inside my arsehole, he said with
That's
a straight
something Aaron
face.
would say anyway, though.
On cue, Dan burst into giggles. Oh my god, dude. He wipes his tears away. Aaron feels the relief wash over him. After Dan has finished his little giggle fit, he tries again. Seriously, what had you so lost? Aaron sits back down beside him, pulling out his phone to distract his nerves. I was being serious. Dan grimaces. If you don't want to tell me, just say so. Wow, that sounds so nothing like Dan. Aaron rolls his eyes. If you don't want to believe me, that's on you. Dan gets up to leave. Whatever, Aaron. Aaron grabs his wrist and immediately...
Bang, bang, bing, bang, boo. Something, and sleigh ride together with you.
Why have I not seen a smut with sleigh rides?
That's probably a standard.
It's there somewhere. Aaron grabs his wrist and immediately regrets it. Dan looks at him like he's wasting his time. It makes his stomach lurch. I'm serious. Dan's eyes widen at Aaron's expression.
Let's have bum sex.
What?
That's what the next line is. Let's have bum sex.
Dan, I want you to fuck me.
I don't.
Oh, I wasn't too far off.
Dan pulls away from the youngest grip. Fuck off, man. I know you're fucking with me. Please fuck me, Danny. I'm trying so hard to do this seriously and I can't.
I think it's time for a cup of tea.
Dan's heart stops. That sounded so real. Aaron, you have a wife, and I'm not... Aaron explodes into childish laughter. Like he's a 6th grader who just told their younger sister Santa's not real.
Whoa.
And now they're watching them cry. What the...
Sadistic fucking what?
Wow.
So you know how like... Okay, no, I don't even have anything to say.
Dude, you should have seen your face, he exclaims in between giggles. Aaron, man, I can't believe you fell for that. Aaron continues his laughter as Dan feels his heart sink. Eyes trained on the carpet.
Oh, wow.
Danny was keen for bum sex.
The younger suddenly notices the change in atmosphere.
Fur.
Yeah, fur.
Oh, Danny is a furry.
Was that not the right thing to say, he thinks? Dan bites his lip. Yeah, very funny. He goes to leave. Dan, wait! Too late. He's gone. What the hell? This is exactly what this... That's actually how they ended it. What
How
the
am I
hell?
supposed to jazz if there's not even enough jazz cabbage to get me going?
Would you like me to start again?
No.
30 seconds until close. This is
Well, they just started right with that sex, didn't they?
Oh, it was a daydream of bum sex.
Yeah, it wasn't even real.
Wasn't even real kinky bum sex. Although that would have been a weird 10-minute power hour.
One that could definitely happen, but fucking weird.
10-minute power fisting.
Say what?
What?
Say what?
What?
So are you going to read another one?
Am I?
Or is he going to read one?
I'm not reading one right
He's
now.
video games, so
Oh, there's one that says intended female reader. What?
I'll let you take that one then.
I killed the kill leader, so now I'm the kill leader.
Plot what plot? / porn without plot. Okay.
Who needs plot? Fuck. Just jack off.
Oh, and I know what that song, the title's from a song. Oh wow, okay,
Alright. I guess I'll read this one. She's Luxuria by Orphan Account. Wow. Alright. He thinks it's the wine, or the fact that he hasn't gotten laid in a distressingly long time. It occurs to Dan briefly that it could be Aaron's cologne, or how his friend's previous bottle spins over the course of the evening have left his cheeks a roseate colour that's so beautiful and nearly feminine that Danny begins to disregard the distinctly male beard curling on Aaron's lip as he smiles.
So what kind of beard is distinctly female?
Whatever it is, it's dangerous. This whole game is dangerous and Dan shouldn't have agreed to play in the first place, but he did. And he can't go back now. Not after he smooched Ross with hardly any hesitation, even adding sloppy, exaggerated lip smacks for full comedic effect. Dan should do the same for Aaron. Just play it off as a joke. He wants to peck Aaron's lips and get the damn turn over with. Go through the same routine he's been running for a year. Dan's developed a system for dealing with Aaron. It's not ideal, but it's effective. And it includes such things as avoiding eye contact, dodging any joke that could possibly construe as homosexual in the slightest, and stubbornly ignoring the butterflies in his gut that seem to appear whenever Aaron throws an affectionate arm over Danny's shoulder. He's running out of time. His friend's laughter had long since died down and had been replaced with questions and jeers and shouts of, "Just do it already, you pussies!" Dan wants to scream. He wants
Wait,
to
that's
yell
an
right
actual
in
line,
their
isn't it?
face. Yes.
Holy shit, that's fucking
He wants to yell
amazing.
right in their faces that, yeah, he would love to do it already. Just get this bullshit over with, but he can't. Because Danny has yet to adjust to the fact that Aaron, who has made a shameful amount of appearances in Dan's dreams as of late, spun that stupid bottle and it landed on him. Him! It could have pointed at Susie, or Holly, or hell, even Barry, but it didn't. It's pointing straight at Dan, and he feels like he's going to vomit. It must be the wine, he decides. Only his old friend alcohol could fuck him up so badly that he even considers kissing Aaron. The wine, his libido, it doesn't matter anymore, because his time's up. The time had run out and he can't stall anymore. And apparently Aaron wants to get this over with as badly as Dan does, because even before he can register what's going on, he's inhaling that fusion of sweat and cream, annihilated Starbucks coffee, and sugar that permanently clings to the couch of the Grump room. Aaron is close. Aaron is alluringly, enticingly, horrifyingly close, and Dan doesn't know what to do. He wants to wrench himself away, but mostly he wants to lurch forward, to tangle his hands in Aaron's shirt, bury his face in his neck, and smell that sweetness that haunts him. With a glint in Aaron's eyes, though, Darren's reasonably certain he won't get the chance. I have to scroll down.
Ow.
That's not part of the story. Aaron's hand closes around Dan's wrist, and thumbs over his veins. An act which Dan assumes is meant to be comforting, but really just makes his heart thud twice as hard against his ribs. Aaron's breath ghosts over his lips, and Dan sucks in the sweet air, feeling the heat bloom in his chest. It pulses through his blood and burns like fire before pooling low in his belly. And it's scalding him from the inside out. He can't think, can't rationalize his decisions anymore, and he's drunk, and he's burning up, and he wants Aaron like nothing else in the world. Dan twists his fingers through Aaron's bleach-soaked hair and thrusts himself forward so hard he nearly knocks both of them onto the floor. Aaron tastes like pretzels and mint and energy drinks, and their noses are smashed together, and Dan's hands are trembling as they clutch the sides of Aaron's face. It's a kiss that reminds him of a shitty leg... What? It's a kiss that reminds him of shitty keg parties in high school, and it's so devoid of rhythm it could put Ross to shame. But nothing of that seemed to matter, because this is Aaron. This is the man who has somehow shattered every belief Dan has ever held about him and pieced him back together again. The man who can make his heart race with something so small as a lopsided smirk. Their lips work furiously against each other as they huff in scarce breaths of stale air, sweat and mould, and it's magical. Time seems to stop, and Dan thinks he can hear a vague camera shutter or two, but blood is pounding through his ears so loudly it's impossible to tell, and all he feels is Aaron's hand grasping at his hip and the thumb brushing over his cheek, and everything is so wet and hot and good that he doesn't even mind when he feels Aaron tug them both backwards onto the yellow carpet. Dan feels fingers stroke up and down his sides and whimpers when he realizes that they get steadily slower. They're getting steadily lower after each pass. Aaron's a sneaky little bitch. When his hips buck up and his lips part further in a moan, though, Dan decides he can find it in his merciful Jewish heart to forgive him. Dan has no shame, to be fair. Shame was not a trait he had ever truly possessed with much abundance, but he's got alcohol in his blood, and Aaron grinding up against him, so whatever shred of it he had at the beginning of the night had been thrown right out the fucking window. Perhaps if he hadn't drunk a half a bottle of wine earlier, he wouldn't have broken away from the kiss to let out a moan long enough to wake the whole apartment complex when Aaron tugged his hair. They're not really even kissing anymore. They're grinding like hookers and moaning like whores, and Aaron's popped nearly all of the buttons on Dan's shirt. Dan feels it should be taken into consideration that, considering the circumstance, he had done an admirable job of unbuckling Aaron's belt. It was a valiant effort, to say the least. Yeah.
Only 1 minute until the ring closes.
They've got hooded eyes when he gently shoves Dan back. Aaron's eyes flick to Susie, and then back to him. And it's then that he realizes that their friends have been trying to grab their attention for a while. Aaron affectionately bumps noses with him as they part, and the soreness there reminds Dan of the hasty coming together. Try to be more careful next time, Aaron murmurs with a grin, and Dan nearly shivers at the idea that, holy fuck, there could be a next time. Danny's bones creak as he clumsily rises to his feet, a casual reminder that he's probably getting too old for this shit. His cheeks are red as he takes his old seat on the couch next to Aaron, and although he gets some pretty heavy stares, and one particularly smug look from Ross, his friends are decent enough not to say anything about it, at least for now. Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh fuck, I scrolled up. Oh fuck, I hit back.
Oh no.
Back to the bit I'm pretty sure I'm at. Dan tries his damnedest not to look over at his friend too many times, but it's a difficult fit when he notices his reddened lips and bruised nose. It's not the prettiest mark he's ever left on a person before, but he's satisfied with himself nonetheless. It takes 4 more pathetically obvious side glances until he sees Aaron smile softly to himself and twine their fingers together behind a pillow. If there are a few behind-the-scenes kisses added to the grumping agenda, Dan thinks, then he certainly won't complain. And that's the end of the story. I feel like I need to wash out my brain, my eyeballs, my ears, and my mouth with bleach.
You know, I'm kind of glad that I was in the kitchen making tea then, because what I did here was bad. Can I have a smoke, please?
Oh, for fuck, this is the second smoke you've gotten off me for making the same cup of tea. Sorry, this is the 3rd smoke you'll be getting out of me for the same cup of fucking tea.
This is very exciting.
It was expensive tea.
Fucking knows. Why are you talking to Tia? She's not here.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Wrong tea.
Oh. Alright, you can read this one now.
This one, which is titled quite literally after a song. It's bracket, I can be your bracket whore.
I thought it was gonna
By
be
3 Cheers, 12 years. Now I'm hoping that 12 years
Is
not a reference to age.
Oh no.
If you're 12 years old and you're writing smut, what the fuck? What do your parents not give you enough attention?
What?
Not that kind of attention. What the fuck?
You're disturbing.
I am disturbing. That's the whole reason why we're reading fucking Game Grumps smut.
We're
on the
reading
internet
smut on the internet.
for fun.
It's nearly 2 a.m. and we're up and we're just reading smut. Okay.
For fun.
He tugs you back roughly by your hair, a string of spit still connecting the swell of your lip and his cock. Really? That is your opening line?
At least they didn't start with a different opening.
Good point. Like the last one.
Oh, the last one you read.
It breaks, making you flinch as the cold drips onto your chin.
I think it's a bad thing to say. It breaks right before I was about to say, what about the Clifford one?
I don't want to think about Clifford anymore.
I want to think about breaking and Clifford in the same thing.
Hyman.
Okay, you look up at him.
Rips a bit more than the hymen.
His eyes heavy as you jerk him off slowly. You squeeze your fist and rub your thumb over his tip. His stomach tightens. Dan's eyes drip with lust. Really, what's with all the dripping? That's not sexy, that's gross.
I think if your eyes are dripping, probably see a doctor rather than some slut. I really don't think that some chuckle fuck is really the best person to contact in this situation.
His hair pushed to the right side of his face and hanging down, casting a shadow as he leans over you.
As opposed to hanging up.
The hand that's fisted in your hair is against the drywall,
Shouldn't fist people's hair, that's not how you fist.
and so is your back as you sit with your legs open. His own are straddling you, jeans and boxers around his knees.
The light's working again.
He swats your hand away, and you let it drop, slackening your jaw and opening your mouth wide as he guides his cock in. They said this was supposed to be read by a woman. I don't think this should be read by anyone.
It should be read by the elderly.
What the fuck?
The criminally insane.
Well, wouldn't that make a day at the retirement home way more interesting?
Definitely. Because what do they do
As he
there?
guides his cock in slowly
They touch tips.
until your nose is pressed against his navel and you're choking around him, then pulling back out. He rubs his head over your lips and repeats, a smirk ever present as he watches you carefully. His grip on your hair loosens, but doesn't leave. You like that? Dan asks, low, quiet, making your breath hitch, and your hand twitch as you fight the urge to touch yourself. I am
What?
not fighting the urge to touch myself right now.
Wasn't it great that they were playing a video game that kids would probably watch?
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're not playing Minecraft. You nod
Hey, do you
slightly.
want to play Minecraft, Andrew?
That's a good idea,
Trying
actually.
You nod slightly, trying to tell him yes, but your mouth is full of him. Fuck yeah, you do. You like my cock, don't you?
Don't talk with your mouth full, you fucking...
It says it's supposed to be read by a woman, but I'm sitting here thinking, fuck yeah, you do. You like my cock, don't you? And I'm like, what?
Did I
That's not the
accidentally?
same. That's not the
I think it's meant to be read by a woman, not read aloud by a woman.
It's not very good for women, then. It's...
I don't think it's good for anyone.
This is not some woman's fantasy at all.
It's not the Game Grumps fantasy at all.
You suck your breath in as he pulls out of you a nod, eyes wide up at him, brimming with tears from your gag reflex. You almost dribble as you talk. Yes, Danny. He takes the head of his...
It's Aaron being the bottom bitch all the fucking time.
Have you noticed that?
Except for that last one.
If you're a woman and you enjoy reading this shit, get a boyfriend.
Or
a
record it and
girlfriend.
send it to me.
Get a boyfriend or a dildo, either one.
Or a girlfriend, you know.
Or a girlfriend, you know, it's 2019.
He takes the head of him.
Or
Thumb
either.
just... What kind of a phrase is that? He takes the head of him. What? You've been using the word cock. Why can't you say, he takes the head of his cock, thumb just below the ridge, and rubs your bottom lip with it?
I never call that a ridge. I call that my mushroom stalk.
That's not a very sexy name.
Mariana Trench.
That's not a very sexy name either.
Battle log.
Adventure log.
No, that's battle tip.
Battle tip and adventure log.
They go together.
Rubs
And
the
then
bottom
hands.
lip with it, pulling it down, and
This
baring
is
your
fun.
teeth. I mean, if you want this to be read by women, why do you start it with a blowjob?
Yeah, like...
You can guarantee that at least the majority of women, there are women who like giving blowjobs.
Yeah.
Most of them don't.
Your sticky semen is so good.
Why don't you read this, Sarge?
Oh, your salty spunkers taste so good
Yeah,
in
but
my mouth.
Andrew has to read it if I'm going to read it in my voice.
Oh my god, what kind of phrase is... Your lip slaps comically as it's released.
Oh my god.
Does it
what?
make like a cartoon noise? Like...
What the hell is comical lip slapping?
I don't know. I don't even know.
Well, I don't know. I assume it has something to do with smacking your lips after you've just taken a Grumps cock, so...
You just slap your own lips, like with your own hand, like, you know, fucking smack yourself in the face.
No, it's like that scene from Shrek 2 when they're going far, far away.
I don't like this.
And Donkey's just there the entire time, like...
Oh my god, that ending line! Wow,
Just read from the comical lip smacking.
You do as you're told. I love your cock.
What?
It's quiet,
Could you consider
breathless,
undoing?
and not good
Okay,
enough.
I'd like to point out that no woman wants to hear this shit.
Try again. You repeat yourself, louder, and he praises you, letting you suckle on his tip. The noise that
I
leaves
thought you
him
were gonna
is...
say tit there, and that would have made this thing a whole heap better, because,
I should
The
probably...
noise that leaves him is music to your ears. He tells you to kiss it. You do so. A
Kissing
gentle,
the-
innocent kiss to his slit. What? Don't call it a slit!
That's what
the
girls
fuck?
have.
The Mariana's Trench!
This is... What the fuck?
The sounding
No!
room.
No! Oh, don't call it a slit. It makes it sound like he's got a vagina now.
Vaginas! Vaginas!
Oh, imagine if it was talking about the fucking coochie, I believe is what it's called, the area between,
The cooch.
yeah,
The gooch.
yeah, there
Or
we
the
go.
backboard.
Yeah.
Because that's what you hit your balls against.
I think this was written by a virgin. It earns your praise, but when your eyes meet its heady gaze, you know he'll ask more. Make it feel loved, baby girl.
Heady.
Kick my cock, kiss my cock,
I thought
baby.
you said kick my cock.
I just about did. That's it. With a voice like silk, you can't disobey. You place your right palm
I
flat
would like to
against his
disobey.
shaft.
Extra disobey.
What? Oh, and pepper the left side with kisses. I should have finished the sentence before I got confused. Frantic and fleeting. Pepper the left side with kisses, frantic and fleeting. Okay.
Peppa Pig is like 7 foot tall.
Nuzzling into the dark carpet of hair at his base and kissing loudly. Why?
Yeah, these words is not no.
This is like someone just went, right, I've got to put an adjective in.
No, you don't. Like, that's the thing. Like, you don't need to butcher it with adjectives.
You follow his shaft around, dropping your right hand and lifting your left as you repeat your kisses on the opposite side. He tells you how good you are, and you practically purr,
Meow.
coiling your tongue around his underside, feeling the throb of the vein and trace your way along him.
Yes, I do agree. Chamber of Secrets was weird as fuck.
This was... what? You kiss downward once again, breathing in his sweat and musk and taking his balls carefully into your mouth. Oh god, please don't do this. Your left hand loosely works his length and idle and uncoordinated whilst you suck on his nuts.
Don't put a random man's
God.
nuts in your mouth. You don't know where they've been.
If you do want to write a story like this, the least sexy word you can use is nuts.
Nuts is more used in the terms of
nut.
you just kicked me in the nuts, which is not a pleasant thing.
No,
Saying-
gonads would be worse.
Saying
Nuts.
wrinkly sack is better than nuts.
Wrinkly sack.
His sack was wrinkly like a fucking walnut because he's not even a mature adult.
His scrotum was flapping about. His two massive pendulous tentacles smacking against your ass
You
cheek with
can
every
slide your
fluff.
dick between them.
And drawing rewarding noses from deep in Dan's chest. He swears as you switch hands.
Imagine like putting a smiley face on your dick and making it talk.
And openly kiss the head of him, tongue circling around and teasing the gland. You pull away slightly, lips swollen, and look up at him with lust-blown eyes. Dan holds your gaze, eager and waiting as you jack him. You glance at his dick in your hand and smirk back up at him, watching the almost sneer form as his hand tightens around your hair again. I live for your cock, Danny. He doesn't even get to ejaculate! What the fuck?
Okay,
That was the weirdest sentence I've ever said.
I'm so glad children don't like to watch video games on YouTube.
I am so glad that we're such a small YouTube channel that no one wants. Oh wait.
Yeah, that's the benefit of being a small YouTube channel.
Okay, I'm gonna you pull one up for me and I'll read it. You have to play the game though.
I was going to read this one.
I would like to read one.
I don't want to play video games.
You don't even have to fucking do good. Just fucking run around and do the slide. Okay, give me one. That one. Snowballing. No, not snowballing!
Does that say Big the Cat, or am I just...
What?
Big Cat. Okay, never mind.
Oh, if it had Big the Cat, ooh, reading it instantly.
Foggy. Don't jump, Foggy.
Sexuality crisis. Eventual smut.
Mel can
No.
play this one.
No.
There's not too many.
Go up. Not that far. That one.
This one?
Yeah, we're going with this one.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
I've never read a fanfic.
You might want the mouse so you can scroll yourself.
Yeah. Scroll. That's just like an insult.
Yeah, go scroll yourself, cunt.
It's your turn to play video games, Mel.
I can't play video games.
Do the tutorial. Okay.
No.
So they had sex. Like, crazy.
You're not... You have to read.
That's how it starts?
Yeah? So they had sex. Like...
You have to start by saying the title
gotta
of the fanfic and then the writer's name, the author's name.
Give credit where credit is due.
Another ego bank. Fuck. Another ego bank smart. Alien Cupcake 13. That better not be how old she was. Okay. So
knowing teenagers, yes it is.
Yeah. Okay.
People can hear us.
Yes. No.
Teenagers write smut. It's no surprise.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay. So they had sex. Like crazy fucking sex. So crazy. Dan actually started to sweat. Yeah, I know, right? Real cray.
Continue.
Like, oh my god, this is so cray. Like, cray.
Poker face, Sus. Poker
Oh my
face.
god, no, this is so fucking
I know it is hard. It is
Oh
hard,
my
but
god.
you've got to do it.
That gun is so fucking good. Anyway, back to the Steam. So it all started after a gaming session. They were playing Dark Souls 3 or whatever they were playing at the moment you're reading this. What are they playing right now?
Apex, apparently.
We're playing then. Would you fuck off with your farts? So back
Was
to
that part of the fanfiction, or? I feel like that is something that Danny would say to Aaron.
yeah.
Maybe we should write our own fan fiction one day. Anyways, continue. Let's.
Why would we do that?
I'm a teenager, so I legally have to.
I'm someone who thinks this shit is funny and would write it just for shits and gigs, so I might write it.
I'm scared.
You should be.
They were playing Dark Souls or whatever they were playing at the time of recording this. Aaron said something really gay. And Darren thought he was telling the truth, so Danny started making out with Aaron after they stopped recording.
That was sudden. I was like, let's just jump straight into it.
Fucking... And Aaron was like, oh, okay, this is happening. I don't fucking do voices. And took off Dan's shirt. Dan was weirdly skinny ripped. Like, how is that possible? He wasn't even just ripped, like, but also really thin. So Aaron was like making out with Dan's nipple or something.
I have several questions.
That's not what you're supposed to make out.
Like, yeah, just
Danny,
like...
you're doing it wrong.
No, Dan's not doing it wrong. He's just suckle on the titty.
Aaron's doing it wrong.
Suck with that kid.
And Daniel was really turned on. He thought his pants shrunk or whatever. They say in smart. This is like fourth wall breaking and it's hurting. Because it will seem like I don't know what I'm talking about, which I don't, but, or whatever they say when
Anything
in smart.
that
No,
makes the
shut
reader
up!
sound like an idiot is dumb.
Yes! Or whatever they say in smart fix when the person has with a cock. Most people have cocks, you can't stop.
Read the rest of the sentence.
Yes. With the cock gets wildly erect. So he took off his jeans and for some...
Wiki wrecked.
Oh my god, I can't do this.
I haven't seen a single other person.
Yeah, that's weird. You're in fucking high loot zone.
Whoa.
There they are. Anyways, back to the smart.
I met
Timing.
someone, they were nice.
Oh yeah, press 7.
Those turn.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a tutorial.
Leave match.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
How do I connect to the tutorial so I can learn how to play this game so that...
I'll do it for you in a second. So he took off his jeans and for some reason had no underwear. Why would you wear jeans and no underwear? Like, fuck, you could get your zipper caught in your dick.
Oh, you can't get your zipper caught in the dick. That would be okay. I often wake up after a night of sleeping in just my jeans to realise, oh fuck, I've been sounded by my own fly.
Did you hear what he said?
You get his dick caught in his...
No!
Zipper caught in his dick?
Yes!
That's the reference I just made. I often wake up in the morning to find I've been sounded by my own fly.
Anyways. Okay,
Vaginas!
Exactly.
how do I do this tutorial thing?
You fucking go down here, you go like
You
so.
hit skip.
You go that, and you go training.
I feel like this tea would be improved with tea.
Oh, yeah, it's just...
Oh my god, I am in pain.
Hi in pain, I'm Andrew.
Like who does that? Wouldn't it hurt your dick? Like the jeans get rubbing against them all day? Apparently the one only Danny's
Are you actually reading that, or...?
Yes!
Yes, this is reading.
Apparently... Yeah, okay. If you click down the button, you'll sprint. Now...
I'm reading, okay? Read that. I can read the...
Yeah, okay. Okay, so Aaron took off his clothes. I didn't even just, like, do that. It was, okay, so... Okay, so Aaron took off his clothes and started joking himself.
What?
He started joking himself and Dan off at the same time. It was weird, but like hot too. I don't know. Oh my god, this is so fucking bad.
You wanted to read that one?
Yeah.
You chose it yourself?
Yeah. And Dan wanted to be inside Aaron. Not in a vault way, that's gross. He wanted his... Like, he wanted his dick in Aaron's b-hole.
You can't write this shit.
Someone did.
Yeah. Sorry, you can write it, you just can't fucking say it.
No, like, they used the word b-hole. So he did that. Fuck preparation, and he just shoved it in there. Just then fucked Aaron so hard, he was starting to sound like a hentai star. Aaron came and his jizz went everywhere. Dan's hair will never be the same again.
It'll be nice and silky smooth, though.
Oh my god. Dan came into Aaron's anus, hot white streams and all that jazz. They kissed. They kissed and laid down, not bothering to clean themselves up because they were gross.
They were pretty keen with being covered
Wow,
in each
Dan,
other's
that was
cum.
cool. Aaron said in a happy way. Thanks, big cat. They fell asleep covered in jizz.
They fell asleep covered in genies.
Covered in jizz, mind you, and lived happily ever after. The end.
That was the shittest fairy tale I've ever heard.
Oh my god.
So I take it's my turn to read then.
Please.
Yep, you can read smut now.
I'm never reading a fucking smut again. That was horrible.
Alright, get on your knees.
By the way, people, if you're worried that your smut is bad, don't. It's always just a learning curve.
Yeah.
If
Don't
you
worry.
think your
Don't
smut
worry.
is bad, it probably is, but no one actually gives that much of a shit anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always someone with worse smut than you.
Like potentially this one. Get on your knees. Another one by orphan account. Summary. Aaron and Dan are neighbours who hate each other until Aaron finds out Dan's little secret and fucks him into submission. Plot like porn from Aaron's perspective. Notes. I suck at writing from a dom perspective and I suck at writing from Aaron's perspective, but I decided to try. It's just gay sex.
That's the end of the story.
Yeah, next it now. Aaron hated his dumbass neighbour. He was a scraggly, wiry dude, not much older than him, and he was a fucking lowlife. Yeah.
This is brutal.
All hours of the night, there was blasting band practices in the apartment next to his, with songs about dicks and fucking and some freaks named Danny Sexbang and Ninja Brian. It was obnoxious, if kind of funny. Aaron was sure he could enjoy the music, just not at 3 AM when he had work in 5 hours.
5 hours?
Well,
Hey,
and
yeah, okay.
almost every day he got into a screaming match with his neighbour. He had no idea what his name was, and the other guy didn't know Aaron's name either. They made it up for the lack of nomenclature with the screaming cusses in each
How do you
other's face.
spell that word?
Nomenclature. N-R...
No.
This is literally fucking impossible. Where was that? Yeah. They made up for the lack of nomenclature with screaming cusses in each other's face. If they left notes, so lovingly addressed them to the dick eater in 3B and to the douchebag in 2B. The first time he met his neighbour, it was 2 in the afternoon on a Sunday. The douche in 2B stood at, God, he must have been at least 6'2", and his gigantic hair added at least another inch. Aaron was watering his potted daisies that he was growing next to his door. The open airway needed a little cheering up, and he knew flowers were the best way to do it. Susan, the little old lady who lived across from Aaron, loved the daisies he was growing. Alright. The douche in 2B had moved in recently, and Aaron had only caught glimpses of him until now, when he stumbled down the hallway drunk as all hell and vomited into Aaron's daisies. Are you fucking kidding me? Aaron screamed at the man who had hunched over and shooting stomach bile onto his flowers. The man looked up. His face was sweaty and green, moisture lining his high cheekbones and deep-set eyes. Nature calls, he choked out before gagging and vomiting more. Aaron yelled a wordless sound of disgust and proceeded to dump the rest of his can of water onto the man's head. Ever since then, the two haven't gotten along.
Water?
Watering can. Yeah, I know, right? Ever since then, the two haven't gotten along. Every single fucking day it was something else. Some days it was the same thing over and over. The douche in 2B was a fucking menace, and he absolutely thrived on pissing Aaron off. Whether it was kicking over his daisies, moving his trash bins, filling his trash bins with his shit, and even hiding his mail, he always found a new way to make life harder for Aaron. When they had the misfortune of meeting face to face, which was often, they found something to argue about. They had been neighbours for about 7 or 8 months now, and nothing had changed. One particularly nasty Monday night, at around 1 AM, all Aaron could hear were the sounds of sex being pounded against his wall. With an examination at work tomorrow and deadlines for animations fast approaching, he could not handle another night of this bullshit. Fucking slotty, goddamn idiot man-child, Aaron groaned, dragging himself out of bed. He had no idea what girl would want to fuck Dan, let alone on a fucking Monday night. He pulled himself in the cool Los Angeles night, then rapped hard on 2B's door. "Hey in there!" he yelled against the wood. Within the apartment, he could hear clattering and someone saying, "What the fuck?" before the door flew open. "What?" Aaron was face to face with Mr. 2B. The other man had only had an inch on Aaron, but Aaron was heavier and wasn't intimidated by him. And who would be intimidated by him anyway? He was a skinny little bitch wearing a blue floral silk kimono that was open to reveal some chest hair. Despite his virulent hatred for 2B, he had to admit the man was attractive, but he pushed that thought aside. "You are always making a fucking racket at all hours," Aaron yelled. I'm not yelling, it's late. 2B scoffed. "What are you, 80? Chill out, Grumps. Oh my god, you are so condescending." Another man came up behind 2B. He was shorter, hairy, and wearing red plaid boxers. His eyes were piercing and icy blue. Who's this? The shorter man asked. I'm assuming it's Ninja Brian. 2B rolled his chocolate brown eyes. "My idiot neighbour." "I'm the idiot," Aaron screamed. "You're the one making a fucking mess of everything all the fucking time, and now at ass o'clock on a Tuesday morning, you have some girl over to bang. I'm glad you can make her scream, but please show off your skills when I'm not around." The shorter man laughed. "It wasn't this girl making those noises," he said, walking away. "By the way, I'm Brian, and that's Dan. You fuckheads should use names, it's easier." Aaron looked back at Dan, who was bright red. "What?" Dan barked. "What?" Dan barked. Aaron shrugged. "Nothing. Tell your boyfriend to fuck you soft or at least ball gag you," he said, before turning on his heel and walking back to his apartment. "He's not my boyfriend," Aaron heard Dan yell, but he closed his door and went back to bed. For now, Aaron had the one up on his arsehole neighbour, and he was going to drag it out as long as possible. He could tell that Dan was the bitch in this relationship, and now he could use that against him and hold it over his head. The next morning, Aaron went to work and returned with no problems. His daisies were untouched, his trash bins were in their place, and some sweet soul had even delivered his mail. He smirked as he picked it up. When he was unlocking the door, he heard a door near him close. It was 9 PM on Friday, and the apartment building was peaceful for once. For once, there wasn't a horribly loud band practice going on, and Aaron had time to sit back, relax, and work on his animations. The whole week had been uneventful. Nothing happened to any of his plants or trash, and his mail was delivered under his welcome mat every day when he got home from work. It was so nice to have Dan under his thumb for now. He flipped through his papers, even though he still hated the man. He was also strangely attracted to him. Now that he needed to be swung that way, Aaron wondered if he could get into his pants, and maybe even teach him a lesson. Someone as bratty as him needed some behaviour adjustments. So it was quite ironic when Aaron heard a timid knock at his door, only to open it and find Dan standing there, dressed in ratty jeans and a red plaid button-up that was only buttoned halfway. Aaron choked back a chuckle. "What are you doing here?" he asked, trying to sound gruff through his amusement and slight delight.
What are you doing here, faggot?"
"I wanted to talk," Dan mumbled, dragging his toe along the welcome mat. "Why?" "Dunno, wanted to apologise." Aaron gave him another once-over, head to toe, back up to meet his eyes. Then he moved aside and gestured for the other man to come in. Dan perched himself on Aaron's sectional like a bird, hanging off the edge. He looked anxious. It was easy to read. It was funny, now that Aaron had this little tidbit of information, Dan was a little bitch. Actually, it was fucking hilarious. Aaron purposely leaned back on the chair across from Dan, setting in and opening his legs wide. The other man made himself look small. "Sorry about being a dick all the time, and vomiting in your flowers and stuff." Aaron raised an eyebrow and nodded. "Okay. I know I'm a dick a lot of the time. I'm just having fun, you know? I'm an asshole with a life off track and a stupid band who are going nowhere. Guess stirring shit is what I do for fun. Dan looked at his hands. All of this because I know you're a
shit he
bitch for your
does. Looks at
boyfriend.
hands.
Need more sugar. Not the fanfic, the tea.
Both?
Yeah. All this because I know you're a bitch for your boyfriend, Aaron said, laughing. Dan glared at him. He's not my fucking boyfriend. I just fuck him sometimes. Aaron tilted his head to the side. Oh, so you're single? I guess, yeah. Come here then. Dan flushed bright red. I won't make you do anything that you don't want to do, Aaron said calmly, crossing his legs. But despite his original hesitation, Dan was standing in front of Aaron before Aaron could blink. Aaron was impressed. He supposed that Brian had trained Dan well. Spreading his legs again, he motioned for Dan to kneel between them, which he did fast. He stroked the other man's hair, letting the messy curls run through his fingers before gripping his head by the back. Dan inhaled sharply through his teeth. Wow, not even a word of complaint. Aaron leaned in close so their noses were touching. That Brian has got you trained well, doesn't he? He made a bitch out of you. Dan whimpered a bit. That's all good and well, but when I'm done with you, you'll know who you truly are. Under his fingers, Dan let out a tiny groan, but didn't move from Aaron's grip. I'm going to teach you well, Aaron said, cupping Dan's hand and sticking a few fingers in his mouth. Dan enthusiastically sucked on them, and Aaron smiled darkly down at him. Then he let go, pushing him back and unbuttoning his own jeans, revealing his thick, long cock. Aaron had always taken pride in his dick. He knew it was great, and from the look of Dan's face, his ego was pumped even more. Can I suck it? Dan asked timidly. Well, that's the first thing you've ever said that I actually liked. Aaron thought for a second. Give me your belt. For what? Dan stuttered. Just give me the fucking belt, Aaron growled, grabbing Dan's hair again. Dan removed his belt with speed and handed it to Aaron, who grabbed Dan's waist and tied them behind his back. Now get off without your hands. I want to fuck your face. Get me off without your hands. I want to fuck your face. Dan turned even redder and said, yes, sir. Aaron sat back and smiled. He could get used to that. The other man slowly licked up Aaron's shaft, and Aaron gritted his teeth. Dan was obviously trained to take cock, and this was not his first walk in the park. He licked him up and down, tantalizingly slow. Aaron let him tease him this way. He needed to get worked up a little bit more. He let out a low moan when Dan finally took his head in his mouth, and Dan moaned in response around Aaron's cock. You like sucking cock? Aaron asked gravelly. Dan nodded quickly, not taking his mouth off of Aaron. You're a good boy, he said, stroking Dan's hair. That seemed to spur him on, and he started taking more and more of Aaron in his mouth, getting him down to the hilt and getting spit everywhere. Aaron couldn't help himself from moaning. Dan could deep throat, and he was amazed. He was also going to take full advantage of that as he took the back of Dan's head again and began to pump into his mouth, making sure to fill him up and hit the back of his throat. He didn't want to admit it, but Dan could take it like a champ. And he also couldn't wait to finally fuck his tight little ass. How are you doing, sport? Anyway, and that was all Aaron could take. He pumped once, twice more into Dan's throat, coming down it. When he let go of him, he watched Dan swallow and smile. Don't look so proud of yourself, Aaron said, snapping out of his post-orgasmic forehead and grabbed Dan's chin. Look at me, Dan raised his eyes. I'm going to untie your wrist, and I want you to take off your clothes, kneel on the couch, and bend over. Dan nodded furiously, and after Aaron untied his wrist... What?
I said, who's Ben?
I said, Dan, you fucking ass.
Bend over?
Oh. Continue.
Dan nodded furiously, and after Aaron untied his wrist, he scrambled to get naked and bend over the couch. Aaron unzipped his pants and walked into his room to grab a dildo, a condom, and some lube. He put the condom on the toy, made sure it was secure, and lubed it up. When he got back into the living room, Dan was bent over, his asshole exposed and his hard cock hanging down, dripping pre-cum. Aaron couldn't help but take him in. He was beautiful, if really scrawny, deadbeat, and lacking in ass. But he didn't want to feel an affection for Dan right now. He just wanted to torture him. He walked over to the other man and smacked his ass. Dan whimpered and moved back onto Aaron's hand. You like this, getting hit and fucked by a stranger? Aaron said through his teeth. Dan moaned as a response. Aaron grabbed what little an ass cheek Dan had and rubbed his entrance. The man responded by putting his face against the couch and moaning. No, now I want to hear you. I want to hear you scream for me like you screamed for Brian. Dan lifted his head and moaned again and whispered, Aaron. Or should I say, Aaron. Aaron could feel his cock twitch at that, so he rubbed some lube around Dan's asshole before teasing it with the tip of the dildo. Despite having obviously been fucked in the ass more than once, Dan's hole was still pretty tight. He pushed the dildo in farther and Dan yelped, pushing back onto it. "It feels so good, sir," Dan moaned, his head thrown back.
The wording, perfect.
Aaron closed his eyes and exhaled. "If you keep talking to me like that, I'm going to have to fuck you hard." "I want to feel your cock inside me," Dan said, his voice high and his cheek against the couch.
I'd like to point out that my boss's
please.
name is Dan.
Aaron grabbed Dan's hair. "Let me get you ready." "You scared to fuck me?" Dan retorted fast. He pulled Dan's head back hard. "Don't get fucking bratty or I'll never let you have it. You can walk out of here without coming, and you know jacking off won't be as good as this could be. Brian won't even be as good as this could be." Dan relaxed under Aaron's grip and moaned, nodding. Aaron continued working the dildo into Dan's ass, in and out slowly, getting more and more turned on by Dan's moaning and the beautiful sight under his hand. After a few minutes, Aaron rolled a condom onto his cock and rubbed lube onto it, before plunging it into Dan's now looser ass. Dan nearly screamed. "Oh God, yes, Aaron, thank you, he panted, repeating it over and over. He put one hand hard on Dan's scrawny shoulder, feeling the bones and muscles moving under his fingers. He entwined his other hand in Dan's messy hair, wet with sweat. Harder and harder, Aaron pulled Dan back onto him, reveling in his tightness and listening to the music of his moans. "No wonder Brian fucks you hard," Aaron said between pants. "You sound so fucking hot." "I'm gonna come. I'm sorry. I know it was fast. Dan said slowly. Dan said, moaning louder. Aaron pulled out and Dan whimpered loudly until Aaron flipped him over and began sucking his cock hard. Within seconds, the man was a writhing, sweating, panting mess coming in Aaron's mouth and screaming his name. After he finished, Aaron stood up to kiss him hard, making sure to transfer all of the cum over to his mouth. He gladly accepted
Did you read the snowballing one?
running his hands through Aaron's hair and biting his lip. "Great," Aaron said as he pulled away. "You know who owns it. Now get out of my house."
You read the snowball.
Anyway.
I read "Get on your knees."
Yeah, it says snowballing.
Oh. Well, that's a big off, isn't it? You're welcome.
So one of the tags for this one is
Hey, you're welcome.
I have Grammarly.
Oh God. So what? They're pretending they're smart.
No, they're not, because they told us.
So they're pretending they're smart, but they're being dumb by saying they're pretending they're smart.
If you don't like my teasing so much, then why are you moaning? By Kalesic 123. I hope that's not their age, because then they'd be dead.
Wow.
Thanks for
I
that.
know we were getting dark, but really, bum sex I can deal with, but like
You can steal with it too.
I can deal with bum sex too.
Oh, it's a dialogue prompt. The title? It's a prompt. Okay. Dan couldn't recall how they ended up like this. Face flushed with colour due to forced eye contact. Eyes full of lust and silent desperation from the man above him, currently making his wrists all tingly from the pressure. Oh, there's one more thing to add. The aforementioned man is Dan's best friend, Aaron Hansen.
Fuck.
Well timed. It was like you were surprised we were reading about Dan and Aaron. You dropped the spoon and like, fuck. You know what's going on.
Do I?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever been actually fully aware of what's actually going on.
Danny felt entire fields of goosebumps tickle his skin under Aaron's intense stare.
Silly Dan, goosebumps don't grow in fields.
Aaron ground his hips against Dan's, meanwhile sporting the nastiest grin on his face.
The same grin he had when he was doing battle.
I'm reading! Dan's hips stuttered a bit, expecting more. Surely that wasn't it.
Oh, it came third. I'm so pissed.
But nothing,
I could have won that.
nothing else was
No, I
delivered.
couldn't have, but
He peeked an eye open, only growing more ashamed as he, yet again, looked eyes with his new lover.
Mommy, can we have a different bedtime story?
Still grinning,
it's 2:30 by the way.
still teasing. Well, what are you doing? The
What are we
younger
doing?
chuckled.
We're up at
Lean.
2:30 in the morning.
I'm
reading
fucking
porn.
reading!
Yeah.
Let me read this porn!
Please. No. I do not consent.
The younger chuckled, leaning down and nipping his way up the older's so sensitive neck
Nipping his
to his
way.
ear. Until Aaron reached his reddened ear, Dan was keening, releasing moans so obscene it'd make an AV actor blush. Messing with you. Who knows? This could be a one-time thing. Aaron leaned back up, gyrating his hips in an elongated movement, then ceasing altogether, making Dan look at him, sucking his bottom lip in beautifully before he continued.
Remember. No, I don't want to remember that actually. Never
If
mind.
so, I want to drag this out as long as possible. Dan whined. Fucking whined. Aaron, please. Stop. I don't like it.
Alright,
Aaron-
we'll stop.
Aaron yanked Dan's hips upward to meet his own kneeling position, forcing Dan's legs
lost the
open
game.
just to tease him some more. Rubbing his dick heatedly against Dan's backside. Heh, if you hate it so much, why are you moaning? Dan gasped, eyes closed as he desperately tried to rock his hips. To no avail, however, as the main Grumps squeezed the subordinate's Grumps' hips.
I'm ignoring that. Thank you.
Rubbing his thumb soothingly along the skin. Before Dan could protest, Aaron rocked his hips roughly against Dan's own, making the whole situation so much worse. Well,
The whole situation.
I think we have an exhibitionist in my presence. Aaron chuckled after hearing a sultry noise escape
That's not.
Jesus
deep
Christ.
within
That's
his...
not wording that they would use.
Within his...
Who's a saucy little minx is one, but no.
Who's a saucy little exhibitionist? No.
No. But like, no,
deep within his co-worker's throat. That just came out
Well, that broke the conversation, didn't it?
without any context.
What happened? Could you read that line again?
Deep within his co-worker's throat.
After hearing a sultry noise escape deep within his co-worker's throat, Dan then gripped Aaron's wrist like a vice, eyes
I
sporting
thought you were about to say
tears
violin.
and breath coming in heavy gasps.
Yes, like that strong grip that violins have.
Please, Aaron, if you do anything else, I'll...
No!
Aaron's eyes went wide with captivation,
I'm gonna pre.
only spurring his actions on tenfold. With a few long and rough thrusts, Dan was gripping onto Aaron's wrists still, and the bed sheets as wait, what?
We love you, Game Grumps. We
How?
don't love this, but we love you.
And the bed sheets as well,
Not this much.
tongue hanging out of his mouth as he seized, coming what seemed like a fountain.
That's not something I want to see in Franco.
Aaron began ceasing his own movements, not sure what to do, not really sure what his best friend is into. Dan could see his trepidation, this being the first time they've done anything together.
Okay, previous me quote without context. What if she's flying around the room like a boomerang, spraying cum all over everything?
Dan could also see how much his
Dan?
best friend wanted release. This switched his mindset to a more dominant Danny sex-bang one.
Dominant.
And it switches ejaculation from a fountain to a lawn sprinkler.
Smirking as he now had the reins.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Before Aaron could so much as quirk and eyebrow. What? Quirk and I think they've got the phrase wrong.
I don't think this person knows what the word quirk means.
Isn't that the thing from...
Before Aaron
Hero
could so
Academia?
much as quirk and eyebrow, he was in the exact position Dan was in not 10 seconds ago. Why did I look over at you when I said that? What the fuck? Go away!
There is my hero.
Watch him as he comes.
Aaron, such a dirty little fuck, aren't you? I want to hear your sweet voice calling my name.
Bitch, you ain't a snack. Here's old 3-course meal.
Aaron just whimpered, feeling just as embarrassed as Dan was, but now understanding why he was so turned on. Is
I don't understand.
For fuck, Dan, just... Oh, you want to help me? You want me to help you, big cat? Aaron couldn't even breathe, let alone form words, so he settled on nodding. Jesus, what kind of anal is this if he can't breathe?
I can't fucking aim for shit. I am livid. Sorry. This motherfucker teabagged on me.
Get good.
Aaron couldn't even breathe, let alone form words, so he settled on nodding rather quickly, pushing his ass into Dan's rock-hard erection. Aaron gasped and looked back. You're hard already? Question mark.
Oh
Question mark. Question mark.
I can never take it seriously when people erect a monument now.
Just as I put cream in my mouth.
Where was I?
We ready to pump custard?
You sound surprised by it. Aaron wiggled his rump, ushering Dan to start stroking him, and he obliged, making the why is thee with a cap?
Making
the younger groan like he just got the wind knocked out of him. What's that sound like? Ugh. That's not a very sexy sound.
That's like the it's like the crunch of your rib cage as you slam against a wall at 50,000 kilometers an hour.
Well, I mean, I'm not self-conscious or fuck Dan. Yep, not to 60 in 10 seconds.
Have you ever considered don't?
Dan only sped up his hand as he brushed some stray curls out of his eyesight, still listening intently as ever. I don't want to imagine this. Why is this so descriptive? Stop. Okay, we're almost at the end. This is too descriptive. This is beyond what I want to read. I just can't believe you want to do this sort of thing with me. I mean, we're best friends, yeah, but you didn't even ask about Susie. They're fucking and his thoughts are on Susie. Right, well this is not a match made in heaven. Just then, Dan's face went stark white as he realised his mistake. Before he had...
We didn't invite Susie!
Before he had too long to worry, Aaron grabbed his hand, placing the oldest fingers around his dick once more.
Don't worry about Susie. She's
Don't worry, we're Polly.
Oh, okay, that's fine then, never mind.
Besides, she gave me the okay months ago. Wait, what?
Yeah, isn't Susie like
information the reader could have used long before now.
Isn't Susie like totally okay with Aaron going around fucking guys or something?
Dan gasped slightly.
I really want to fucking tweet at Susie.
Like, Aaron has a list.
Hand retightened around the heated cock of his friend. His smirk returning before he landed a rough and passionate kiss to Aaron's lips. Messy and wet, and really everything Aaron loved. Dan leaned away, breathing heavy again and laughing. The same goofy and downright adorable laugh that made Aaron question his sexuality those few months ago.
Well, I'm not hard, but I am tired.
You were expecting to be hard?
I'm fed to the rules and I hit the ground.
Well then, I take it that's the reason you started fucking me through our clothes. Wait, what?
Can I?
Aaron whined, growing red as Dan continued. His laugh only growing as he pushed his way to his best friend's heart. Does someone have something they want to admit? Aaron huffed, beginning to grind their hips together again, if only to shut him up for now until both of them are spent. Dan mules and gyrates his hips against Aaron's with full force, and by some miracle, by the good Lord himself, they're coming at the same time, moaning each other's names and panting their way to riding out probably the best orgasm in Dan's entire life. Boy! Aaron states, I sure hope confessing the rest of this won't lead to any more sexy shit. That was fun and all, but I'm dog tired. All Dan can do at this point is lave kisses over Aaron's face, giggling as the night only just began. By the way, I just want to point out, in these fan fictions, there are a lot of reader or you... What is it? It's specific person, second person or something. The stories are written in second person. They're written as if you're having sex with Dan.
Some of them are.
And I say Dan because there are almost none with Aaron. I haven't found one with Aaron yet. Everyone wants to fuck Dan. No one wants to fuck Aaron. I don't know why.
I literally just read one. Well, from Dan's perspective about wanting to fuck Aaron. I think we've read others from that perspective.
No, not of Dan's perspective.
I've read one of at least
Of
one
the
of Dan's
reader.
perspective.
Of the reader.
Oh.
With Aaron.
Reader / Aaron. Oh, I mean, Aaron's a married man, and I don't know. I don't know how it is.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to fuck Dan. No one wants to fuck Aaron.
Well, Aaron's good. Dan's got a girlfriend.
We are good, innocent Christian boys. We would never say anything to hurt anyone.
What just happened? What was on your screen?
I accidentally loaded a game.
Round 1.
I don't want to read anymore because
I'm a little bit disturbed by those curls. That was a little too real for me.
a little bit disturbed by the whole fucking thing.
Well, I'm a bit down with the sickness.
I mean, the last one, it was
You
well
mother-
written, but it was too descriptive and it scared me, and I don't want to ever think of that again.
Should we...
Oh, it was only the descriptiveness that disturbed you.
Oh, and the I thought the fucking stuff was funny. Mostly because you guys are like, oh god, it's awful, they're fucking each other, please help. And I'm just like,
You mean
Dude, it's
it's
not that
awful? We're making fun of it.
yeah, but no, it was the moments you guys were cringing at, you know, oh god, they're fucking. Like, we're reading smut, what did you expect?
He was cringing. I was reading it with emotion and
Yeah,
finesse.
you were alright.
Struggled.
You couldn't even keep a straight
It
face.
was really hard.
I tried.
That was not the tagline for any of these stories.
I tried, and I did it. With
That
Dan.
was another.
I did it with Dan, and it was great. And he is very much into stuff and things. He
What?
is Dan.
Do you think he likes stuff?
I think he likes stuff. I think
Dude.
Dan really likes stuff.
Well, he certainly likes getting stuffed. Look, you're not going to be able to kill the smoke monster from Lost, alright?
So, what are we going to do now that we've decided not to read any more smut?
That's a good question. I think we're done with Game Grumps smut.
Do you think there's more smut, though?
I think there's more smut. It's not Game Grumps smut. Because,
That's just weird.
yeah. But, Clifford the Big Red Dog is fine. But the Game Grumps is too far.
That was a bad... The Clifford one was a bad... How to have sex. You have girl parts, you have boy parts. These parts go together. We make baby.
And that's how Lego works.
Exactly. Okay, let's look for smut.
I'm never going to be able to put a Lego
Dan and
set
Phil.
together now. No. It's like, if I ever wanted to be less interested in these two YouTubers, there's smut about them.
What's that smart about him?
There's been smut about them for fucking years.
Yeah,
I was on Tumblr for a bit.
What? Yeah, same. Actually, I was on there for one thing only.
Yeah.
Hentai.
Oh, we all were.
Yeah,
Wait,
Karen's-
what?
The Karen's-
I heard the word hentai. What are we talking about? I
Tumblr?
spaced. Oh, I was never on Tumblr, so...
I was on Tumblr because hentai wasn't blocked on it. For not for school actually.
But for school.
No, the Karen's had it blocked. I had a hentai blocked.
Haha.
Alright, so can I have some suggestions for smut?
Pod green.
What?
Andrew should get it. Maybe.
No. Oh.
Smut suggestion.
Smart suggestion. Okay.
Go with Pod green.
No.
How about something I understand?
That's a card that draws two cards in.
Harry Potter.
Oh god.
Oh,
Oh god.
Ron.
Oh no, this is not.
Dobby.
No!
Master has given Dobby a sock.
Now I can jack off.
Dobby is free to jack off whenever he wants. Dobby is not a sex slave anymore.
Wait, what?
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 Oh my god, that's actually a thing. Dobby and Lucius Malfoy.
I am sincerely, genuinely concerned.
One of the authors put in the tags, I'm sorry.
Good. They should be fucking apologising. Actually, no, they shouldn't. It's bad enough that they did the deed in the first place. They know what they fucking did.
Alright, tag Lucius Malfoy / Dobby. End tag is please note the first pairing. There's no archive warning for that. I think these people know what they're doing here.
You reckon?
Except maybe that one. That one's just...
I'm scared.
Jesus Christ, those... Guys, don't go looking for this stuff. We'll do the looking for you.
Yeah, please, for the love of fuck, don't even. This shit can scar you. I feel like I was a different man coming into this dream than I am
Oh my god.
leaving it.
There's a lot.
Why is there so many question marks? That's...
Master has given Dobby a sock.
Okay,
Master
how many...
has given Dobby an erection.
Dobby is free.
Free?
Free?
I'd like to point out that this.
What?
What?
Just read the line you're watching at, please.
Hermione unknowingly was currently leaning and rubbing her hands over the Whomping Willow's penis.
I don't think that's how trees work.
Oh my god, no, I just realised what this is a story about! It's Hermione and Dobby and the Whomping Willow.
I don't like this. This sounds like tentacles.
Oh my god, this is awful. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna do it. I think I was awfully drunk whilst writing and posting this, but carry on.
I think you were
Also,
awfully on
no.
other fucking shit when you wrote this.
Oh, Hermione meets Dobby by the Whomping Willow.
Any dendrophiliacs in the audience?
Okay, it's called Will Whomp Your Socks Off by Vicky Carter.
So if you're interested in reading this, get help.
Wait, what? What are you suggesting about me?
Get help.
Yeah!
Hermione greeted the chilly air with a small shudder as she stepped outside of the entrance hall, her brown hair wrapping around the whistling wind as she huddled into herself, walking towards the Whomping Willow.
She was ready for the pounding of a lifetime. She saw that one of the appendages had a massive throbbing
We're not there yet. It wasn't long before the girl met her companion, standing at the foot of the tree, staring up at the darkening sunset. Dobby! The young girl smiled, turning his attention away from the dancing lights and onto her. How nice to meet you, Miss Granger.
How nice to meet you, Miss Granger.
The house elf spoke softly, his quiet voice carrying the wind towards her.
I see you got the message Dobby left in Mrs. Quarters. I'm not going to do that voice anymore because it can only end terribly.
Okay, then keep going.
Yeah,
Content,
Hermione
please.
smiled again, stepping down the tree's roots towards the elf.
No, the tree hasn't rooted yet.
You wanted to talk to me about
Excellent.
Spew?
Destroy more opponents.
Oh, yes.
Dobby said with glee, as he looked up at the girl in front of him, whose face was illuminated by the brightly lit sky.
Dobby knows all about the society.
Hermione smiled at the elf, whose bright blue eyes glistened over as he looked up at her.
Did Dobby have blue eyes?
I think so.
Huh. Okay.
Could you answer a few questions for me if that's okay? She asked, taking out her notebook and quill before the elf had even answered.
Of course, anything for Miss Granger.
He beamed up at her, his shadowy eyes meeting hers. Thank you so much.
You need a
Honestly,
space between thank you.
I wish Emma Watson would have taken my virginity.
She leant against the trunk of the tree before putting the quill to the paper.
Thank you.
Could you tell me the worst part of being a house elf?
Oh, the bit where I forget to read my line.
Dobby looked down as he forgot the
Fuck's sake!
as he thought of the answer, his eyelids momentarily closing as before he opened them again to see Hermione's bright blue socks staring up at him.
Oh my, Miss Granger, you have beautiful socks.
The elf said, in a mix of shock and awe,
I'm scared.
as he bent his small frame lower to look at the girl's feet. Thank you? The girl questioned,
no. I don't like feet.
momentarily confused as she watched the elf stare wide-eyed, his long finger reaching out to touch the fabric.
May Dobby touch?
The house elf asked, looking up at her again, his finger wavering in the air before the sock. Okay, Hermione answered, slightly worried as she watched the small elf reach for the sock hastily.
Oh yeah, she's slightly
his
worried.
lips quivering as he bent down to sniff them.
Hermione, run.
This is not gonna go well. We're here.
Yep.
Never before had the elf seen such beauty. Even the fabric felt as good as it looked as he ran his long hands over the girl's feet and up her leg,
I'm not okay with this.
where the sock ended and her skin began. Can you roll me a smudge, by the way?
Oh my fucking god.
Please.
You have a butt rolling, fuck you.
Somehow, Dobby could feel himself getting more and more aroused as he travelled up the girl's leg with his hands, smelling as he went. He
I
felt...
don't think...
Can I ask 3 questions, right?
Okay.
What the fuck, and more precisely, what the fuck?
Specifically, what the fuck?
Oh, you haven't even got to this bit yet. He felt himself grow hard under the soft fabric of his cloth, and for the first time in his life, he was not embarrassed, and did not try to hide his erection that he knew was clearly visible.
I have this unhappy face because I am unhappy.
Hermione, however, was too busy trying not to moan in delight as the elf
I don't think she was moaning in delight.
ran his smooth, expert hands over her skin. Her back arched against the bark of her tree, her hands grabbing onto the rough surface as she tried to grab on for support against the intense pleasure running through her. Dobby didn't stop his fingers from wandering further from the edge of the sock, and soon he found that he was at the hem of the schoolgirl's skirt, and didn't want to stop.
Okay, cool, I don't actually have to say any words.
Taking a brave step forward, the house elf rubbed his large erection into the leg of the girl, to which she responded with a loud moan, and pushed herself more against him as he moved his fingers further up her thigh. Soon, his long and bony finger...
I am sick of this game! Holy shit! I'm sorry. Keep going.
Soon, his long and bony finger had reached her knickers, which were now slightly...
Oh, what a sexy, sexy word that is. Knickers.
which were now slightly wet under the thrill the girl was now feeling. Without even waiting, nor asking for permission.
Oh my god.
Wait, Dobby didn't ask consent, he's a rape.
Yeah, that's rape.
The elf pushed the fabric aside
I didn't level up from that.
and thrust one large finger into the girl from underneath her. Hermione moaned and rubbed herself against him. Her fingers twisting. I'm getting the weirdest look right now. Her fingers twisting on the bark
Did
of
the
the
look
tree.
at Mel instead of the screen.
Something inside her knew this was wrong. Yeah, let me see. What was it that tipped you off?
Was it the wizarding school? Was it the giant squid in the lake? Or was it being fingered by a house elf against a sentient tree?
And that she was taking advantage. He didn't ask for consent, and she's taking advantage of the poor elf.
What a poor, rapey fingering elf.
Something inside of her knew this
wait
was
for
wrong.
the fucking tree to come.
And then she...
And they both got set in amber and fossilized for millions of years.
Oh god! Amber is tree cum. Actually,
If there's anyone named Amber watching this,
sorry Amber, you are now tree cum.
that's the weirdest line from a porno I've ever heard. Sorry, Amber, you're now tree cum.
I want to make this thing a reality.
What? What are you on about? How do you turn this into a reality?
Making an actual porno.
And hiring an actual house elf and a sentient tree.
Just get a midget.
What do you mean hiring a house elf?
Oh right, they're slaves. Slavery.
You just buy them outright. Don't hire.
Something inside of her knew this was wrong,
Yeah, maybe his finger.
and that she was taking advantage of the poor elf. But the
Yeah.
intensity she was feeling overpowered any doubts she had, and allowed her to moan out in joy as the elf thrust deeper inside her, rubbing her with his other finger.
Rings far. I guess that means I
Hermione,
So
unknowingly...
is the story somehow implying that Hermione set this all up by having nice socks on today?
Yes!
I have several questions.
Hermione, unknowingly, was currently leaning and rubbing her hands over the Whomping Willow's penis. The tree had suddenly sprang to life under the touch of the girl, and could see and feel everything that was happening under its leaves.
The Whomping Willow has eyes.
Apparently, the sun was due to set completely at any moment, and the swirling purple would soon turn into a moonlit black. Never before had the tree seen a girl and an elf together like this before. He was old, and used to couples making love under his shade. What a pervert! But never like this.
Oh, it's not like you can fucking walk away, is it?
Fuck!
He can close his eyes.
Please, I'm so fucking concerned about
Andrew, fucking Ocarina of Time, fuck up.
If the tree doesn't have eyes, how can it see the girls? The girls? Not just girls. Only the girls fuck under the Whomping Willow. The
Only
boys...
the girls
He
and
can
Dobby.
sense the gender.
and Dobby. The boys make it to the Shrieking Shack.
I get the feeling Dobby's about to be sodomized by a fucking tree.
I don't think it's Dobby.
Lobotomized.
Both Dobby and Hermione are
Okay.
going to be sodomized by a fucking tree.
What's that one?
Something about the mystery of the whole event turned the Willow on more than the girl's tender touch over his aching bark as he watched from above. The house elf had now removed the girl's skirt and knickers, and
What the
Hermione
fuck did I put the
For fuck's sake with the word knickers!
had bent down to
Oh,
remove
don't be
Dobby's
racist,
own
Andrew.
single sheet of clothing. The air had turned even cooler now, but as the two rubbed against each other, they warmed up instantly. Hermione positioned herself on the tree to receive Dobby's large penis.
Large in comparison to what?
Other house elves? Penises? I mean, not other house elves. He hasn't got a penis.
He's got a dick the size of a house elf.
The man could like fucking whip
Ripple
on his
is
dick.
pissed!
She was as completely in awe at its size as Dobby had been at her socks. She was literally dripping at the thought of the hefty member coming towards her.
It's
and,
too bad Dobby was
Hefty
only
member.
interested in her socks.
Hefty member.
and ripping inside her. The elf wasted no time in rubbing himself on the girl's vagina and then entering, with a blissful moan echoing between the two. They thrashed into
I'm
each other
assuming
with
that
all the
fucking-
effort they could master.
I'm assuming that Hermie one is a virgin, by the way.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
How does Dobby's sloppy seconds taste, Mr. Weasley?
I'm reading ahead, sorry. This is getting disturbing.
Let's hurry up and get to the disturbing bit so we can all be
Their
stopped
faces
together.
pointed up to the sky as they breathed in the pleasure. Silently, the Whomping Willow moved its branches towards the pair, and had soon placed a hand on the shop. Wait,
Or
what?
what you could describe as a hand.
He's just
Do
like,
trees have hands?
well, it's the Whomping Willow, so he's probably got some school kid that he's killed and, just tore their hand off with a branch. And
You know the SCP that's meant to be a tree that's just made of hands, and like sometimes they have vaginas in them and sometimes they have eyeballs? It's like that.
I really want to fuck one of those vaginas and see what happens.
Alright, last I checked, you die. So it's a win-win.
That's exactly right.
Silently, the Whomping Willow moved its branches towards the pair, and had soon placed a hand on the shoulder of the young schoolgirl. Hermione looked down.
She's a child.
Hermione looked
down.
over her shoulder and realised it wasn't actually the tree's hand, it was Madam Hooch.
And watched as the branch snaked its way across her shoulder and to her back, to her neck, where it tugged on its own accord at her tie, which soon became undone, at the magnificent strength of the tree, fighting for
The
air.
strength of the tree, not the dexterity of the tree.
Hermione
Oh,
lifted
Christ,
one
bro.
hand and undid her buttons until her shirt fell loose around her shoulders, revealing her bra.
What makes you special?
The Whomping Willow's branch softly dragged away the shirt off the girl's back and began unfastening her last remaining garment, which slipped off her shoulders easily.
Evilly.
Easily, because she hasn't got titties.
Another branch then joined the other as they caressed the girl's boobs, the smooth
She has
wood
boobs.
pumping the flesh in time to the elf's thrusts.
Ugh.
More, the completely naked Hermione screamed, hair now snaking around her shoulders as
And then
she
she
rocked
woke up in the
head.
Chamber of Secrets.
back and forth, sweat beginning to form on her pale body as she racked her body against Dobby. Complying with her request, the tree pushed one of its branches into the back of the girl, squeezing its way into her bum as she rocked back and forth between the two members. All three were moaning. Wait, what?
All three? What did the tree moaning sound like? I never thought the tree ants from Lord of the Rings could get the nasty on.
This got weird fast.
Don't they breathe through pollination anyway?
Anyways,
What use for a sex would
all
a tree
three
have?
were moaning now, the tree's branches groaning with each movement. Hermione's screams could be heard higher than the castle beyond, but no one cared to look outside on the setting sun to see
Except
what
for
all the noise
Dumbledore, who was watching on, vigorously masturbating.
Never before had such a sound been heard on the grounds before, but if tonight was anything to go by, Hermione certainly hoped it wouldn't be the last, as she finally settled herself down on the tree's gaping roots as she tried to regain her breath. As
She's getting a gaping root too.
As a surging orgasm powered through her, shaking her sweaty body with force. Both Dobby and the tree had flopped themselves Both Dobby and the tree had flopped themselves down next to her, heaving in unison as they released their hold. Wait. I think they're right, they were drunk when they wrote that.
Are there comments?
I don't think there's comments on this one.
Well, wasn't that magical?
Reviews 14, let's see. This is absolutely disgusting. I truly disgusted. Plus it makes no sense. How can she moan from him touching her leg with his dick? He should be the one moaning, you ignorant cunt. Next one below. This was great. Whomping Willow fan is the next one after that, who says, this was such an enthralling tale. Never before have I ever jizzed such large buckets to a tree fucking a girl. May Dobby touch was the moistest part.
I would like to just say, that's the Whomping Willow itself that's posted that. Best wank I ever had.
No.
I have read hell.
I'm guessing this wasn't their proudest fap.
The HP fandom is quite creative.
Yes, you cannot deny that.
Well, yeah, creative is a word for it, yeah. Depraved is probably another word for it.
Love the dirty pairing of Hermione and Dobby. Wish someone would, spelled W-O-O-D, make some good hentai pic of two.
I see what you did there.
Not what I did there, but they did there.
No, no.
I think I just threw up in my mouth a little guest.
I just threw my up in my mouth a lot.
Oh yeah, only a little. Like fuck, I've chundied.
So
completely.
this was
The floor is like 2 inches deep of just vomit all over the house now.
I mean this was certainly an experience. That's for sure.
It was certainly an experience for Hermione.
And the Whomping Willow.
I can't believe it even took time to lay down next to her.
Yeah, I think the people giving it bad reviews never actually made it to the end where the tree lays down next to her and they realise that this just makes no sense.
I think they were angry because they wanted a genuine wank.
Sorry, I'm...
N-word, that's fuck up.
I have read Hell.
Yeah, I think I read that one too. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'll never look at the two of them the same way again. I used to think Dobby was really cute and Hermione was really innocent and a smart know-it-all. But now...
No, you know what? I don't think I can look at the Whomping Willow the same way again.
Oh, I'm glad.
Next time I watch Harry Potter, I'm going to need to find out where its hands are.
and its eyes.
Look up the one.
How is it able to lay down?
If anyone who's watching this can do any photoshopping, please give us the Whomping Willows with hands and eyes. Please.
But not the rest of the appendages, please.
No, it needs a penis as well.
We'll censor that in post.
Yes.
No, we won't.
We won't. We'll just have a big swinging dick on screen. Because that will definitely not get us banned permanently.
Okay, someone's actually given themselves a live journal called Disturbing Harry Potter. Do we dare?
Okay, let me put it this way, right? What the fuck? Why the fuck? Let's do it.
Okay, that's enough for me.
Let's go!
Ironically enough, that song's called Jerk It Out. By the Caesars. Isn't it nice that,
It's.
Yes, I am 18 years old.
Are you sure?
He's not. Oh, really? I'm not attaching any kind of account to this
why
shit.
would you fucking...
whoops. I'm not attaching an account to this shit. How do I...
Oh.
Oh. Fuck. I guess not.
Let's go.
Cause it's easy when you know it's done. You can't stop now, it's already begun.
Oh wow, this is 3,000 words.
Running through your bones.
Hermione
And you
gets...
jerk it out.
Hermione gets worried about Buckbeak. After Draco...
Hermione's a hippogriff, by the way.
Hermione's concerned about Buckbeak after he just got decapitated.
Hermione gets worried about Buckbeak after Draco brags about getting the Ministry to execute him. She goes to see if Hagrid needs any help. One thing leads to another, and they become bonded as mates, changing the future of magical creatures and the wizarding world forever.
I'm scared already, let's go.
Let's do this, boys.
This is called Hermione the Hippogriff by the Winter Wizard.
Fucking oath.
Alright, so, before we start...
We might have new people, so...
we might have new people.
Maybe. If Darku has... Darku is black, by the way. So that means I'm racially okay.
Oh.
You're not racially okay,
What are we
you're just
talking
okay
about
with this
right
one
now?
guy.
Yeah, I've got a black friend.
You have a... Oh, let us pull out the champagne
I'm
because you
not
have
racist.
one black friend.
People on the internet can't call me racist. I saw a black man once.
I saw one in a photograph, except I'm not sure it was in black and white.
So wait, was he black or white?
He was grey.
Fucking grey cunts.
Grey cunts. Yeah.
Dude,
Grey cunts is what's gonna happen after Hermione gets fucked by a tree.
no, that's splinters.
Ow.
Nobody
Ooh.
thought about that, did they?
Do they have a rhyme for infection?
Molestation.
That's not a
No.
rhyme for infection.
It is now.
If you need to rhyme with inflection.
Inflation.
If you need to rhyme with infection, you need to use the correct inflection. There's something and something and something and something, and take a
Inflection.
long hard look at your reflection.
Do we really want to go through this?
Is it
It's 3,000 words.
No.
terrifying?
I'm not sure. Shall I have a glance?
Control F and look up the word fuck.
Oh, yeah, because that's gonna get...
It'll get you closer to the fucking thing, so.
She was shocked at how strong and powerful his hind legs felt and wondered if they would feel... how they would feel wrapped around her if Buckbeak was a man.
Can I just also say something? That last story,
Yes.
after Dobby stopped talking, Dobby didn't have any other fucking lines.
Yeah?
What shit storytelling is that?
Remember, the author did put a note at the beginning saying she might have been drunk when she wrote
I'm
it.
not even willing to say like it's a minor. I think she definitely was.
I think she was fucking sloshed, so.
I think she was.
I think
I
when the
think
idea came
Have you ever?
to her, she might have been, you know,
On
tipsy.
cocaine?
We're
Tipsy.
pretty quick to assume it was a she.
Or he. She or he was tipsy, and then,
I think.
as the story went on, more booze,